skunk. With those words, I headed to school on my bike. To my surprise, Will approached me next. I'm sorry about yesterday, Kathleen. Let's go out tonight. To be honest, I was flattered because I'd never had a boyfriend before. However, I didn't trust the Cooper brothers, so I told Will no. However, they both came up to me after classes and said that they liked me because I was one of the few who dared to stand up to them. We're tired of all the girls throwing themselves at us because we're successful and handsome. You're different. Give us a chance. We'll prove we're not as bad as everyone says. They seemed sincere. Maybe we started off on the wrong foot. I said I would think about it, and I told Megan about everything that happened. They're both cute. Which one should I go on a date with? Hello? Open your eyes, Kathleen. It's the Cooper brothers. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Something's not right here. My friend said she would get to the bottom of it. I wanted to believe that deep down those boys weren't so bad. So I agreed to go on a walk with Brandon. He gave me a huge teddy bear and didn't hesitate to spend money on me. We had a good time, but I didn't get butterflies in my stomach. How about a goodbye kiss? Whoa, slow down, buddy. We're not dating yet. We're just hanging out as friends. The next day, I let Will give me a ride home after school. We drove around the city, listened to romantic music, and got ice cream on the way. Will was different from his brother. He seemed more sincere. When we stopped by my house, I had to fight the urge to kiss him. We texted and sent each other memes late into the night. I felt like I could fall in love with him. But soon, Megan took off my rose-colored glasses. True to her promise, she found out what was really going on. It turned out that Will and Brandon had bet over who I'd kiss first. And the worst thing was that the whole school knew about it and everyone had been laughing at me behind my back. I felt like a naive moron and I couldn't fight back tears. My friend hugged me and said that we should get back at them for it. They've broken a lot of hearts, so they deserve to get a taste of their own medicine. We came up with a plan. I was to keep hanging out with them and pretend like I knew nothing about the bet. They would keep trying to get me to kiss them, but once they'd fallen in love with me, I would just break their hearts like they'd broken mine. My friends gave me a makeover and a couple of flirting lessons, and voila, I became a real beauty. Wow, a full head over heels in love with you. I took turns going on dates with Brandon and Will and told them they were both so cute I just couldn't choose one. They bent over backwards to impress me. Meanwhile, I was in no hurry to kiss either of them. I can't stop thinking about you. You're stunning. Will you kiss me? My teddy friend will do it for me. Fooling Brandon was easy because I didn't feel anything for him. However, Will and I had a lot of deep conversations on our dates. And one day, he told me that he had a difficult relationship with his brother. It's all because of our father. He's been making us compete ever since we were kids. I got used to acting like a handsome, devil-may-care jerk. But when I'm with you, I'm not pretending. You're special. After saying that, he helped an old lady cross the road. I wondered if he really was secretly a good guy, or if he was just trying to impress me to win. Unfortunately, I really liked Will, but I knew it was all just a game for him. It hurt to think about. Quit pining after him. Will is a liar and has to pay for it. Soon, the boys invited me to a party at their country estate. My friends and I decided it was the perfect setting for the grand finale of our revenge. Oh, it was going to be glorious. All of the popular and influential kids were invited. And I must say, the estate was amazing. But I didn't go there to have fun. As we danced, I casually told everyone I'd read a fascinating horror story on the internet. The locals believe there's a creepy monster in the woods that steals the souls of lost tourists. Of course, everyone laughed and said only a kid would believe in a story like that. It didn't upset me. It was all part of the plan. Brandon and Will kept hitting on me. Kathleen, baby, can't you choose one of us already? Listen to your heart, Kat. I pretended to think about it and suggested they race each other through the woods. The winner would become my knight in shining armor and I would kiss him. Of course, they agreed. After all, that was all they cared about. They glared at each other as they got into their cars and they drove into the forest. Now, let me tell you all about our plan. My friend Sean, the one who was brilliant with technology, had messed with their cars. It was nothing serious. They were just supposed to stall in the thick of the woods. Megan was already waiting for the brothers there in a charming monster costume that she'd prepared the day before. I knew a lot about filming movies, so I easily figured out how to hide several cameras among the trees. I was going to broadcast everything live at the party. Guys, let's watch a cool movie. I turned on the projector, and everyone saw that Will and Brandon's cars had stalled in the forest. They opened the hoods and were trying to figure out what was wrong. But then, Megan jumped out from behind the tree dressed like a monster.
Who dares come here?
Wow, the costume was so realistic and creepy that even I got goosebumps. The brothers clung to each other, scared out of their minds. Ah! It's the monster from that freaking legend! It's gonna steal my soul! If only Brandon had one. The boys ran back to the estate with their tails tucked between their legs. When they got there, they were met by their laughing friends. I didn't know you guys were such cowards. Brandon, you screamed like a little girl. Is this some sort of stupid prank? What's going on? Justice is being served, baby. I was all too happy to tell them that I knew about their bet. I was sure I wasn't the first girl that they'd lied to, so they definitely had it coming. Kathleen, I'm sorry I lied to you, but I swear I fell in love with you for real a long time ago. I was crazy about you too, but you humiliated us. I didn't listen to their excuses, and I left the party with my friends, quite pleased with myself. We celebrated our small victory in a pizzeria, but deep down, I felt empty. I really had grown fond of Will. We kept throwing each other glances for the next few days at school, but we didn't talk. Brandon was pissed off, but Will just seemed genuinely hurt. I tried not to think about him. After all, I'd gotten what I wanted. Soon, I found out that their family had moved to another city, and that was the last I heard of them. Megan and I graduated from high school and got into an art college together. She wanted to be a fashion designer, and I stayed true to my dream of becoming a movie director. We grew close and spent all of our free time together. Everything was going great. Until one day, I ran into the ghosts of my past on campus. It turned out that Brandon and Will were studying at our college to become actors. We ignored each other for a while, but one day, I walked out of a hall after a lecture, only to see Will with flowers. And then Brandon came up to me too. He was carrying some sort of gift. They got mad when they saw each other. Brandon, leave us alone. Kathleen and I need to talk. Cool it, brother. I want her back too. Stop it! I don't want anything to do with either of you. I squeezed between them and I walked away with my head held high. It took me a while to get over them, and I didn't want to make the same mistake again. I told my friend about what happened. Hell yeah! I'm glad you turned both of them down. I kept ignoring them, but I kept running into Will. I saw him helping old ladies and feeding stray dogs. Huh. Could it be that he hadn't only been doing things like that to impress me? One day, I saw him playing street baseball with some children. One of the kids kicked the ball in the wrong direction and it hit me. Will saw it and immediately ran up to me. Kat, are you okay? He sat me on the bench and handed me a cold soda to press against the bruise. Our eyes met and butterflies fluttered in my stomach. I had spent so much time trying to forget Will, but all it took for my old feelings to come back was one look. We sat there for a long time, chatting. I'm sorry about that stupid bet. I was such a moron. My brother and I were constantly competing because of our father, but I never lied about being in love with you. I told him I was mad about him too. He had hurt me, but my revenge had been too cruel, so I apologized too. Come on, Brandon and I deserved it. From that day on, we talked to each other each and every day, and we soon became an item. I was still afraid, but I decided to trust Will because I loved him. Megan wasn't thrilled about it. Are you really going to make the same mistake again? You've been spending so much time with your fake prince lately, we've barely seen each other. I'm sorry, Meg, but one day you'll fall in love and understand. I was over the moon, but then Megan brought me back down to earth again. Kathleen, those bastards are at it again! Then, she showed me a video she'd filmed. I saw Brandon discussing the new terms of a bet with someone on the phone. He must have been talking to Will. I was crushed. Could it really be happening again? I was furious with myself for trusting Will so easily, and I broke up with him that same day. Everything was fine. Why do you want to break up all of a sudden? Stop lying! I know about the new bet. Congratulations! You finally won. I went to the lecture hall and I suddenly saw Megan and Brandon in the hallway. Can you imagine? They were celebrating breaking me and Will up. I stormed up to them. Mind explaining yourselves? Megan and Brandon exchanged a glance and admitted that the video was fake. Brandon wanted to get back at me for my prank at the party, and my friend was mad at me for spending less time with her because of my boyfriend. I'm sorry, Kathleen. I didn't want us to grow apart. Well, you messed up. I needed to find Will. I had been so unfair to him. To my surprise, he was waiting for me by the door and holding some sheets of paper with scribbles on them. Kathleen, I wrote these poems about you during the year we didn't see each other. What else can I do to prove that my feelings were always real? You don't have to prove anything anymore. I kissed him gently on the cheek. He deserved that long-awaited kiss. We became an item again, and we were happier than ever. After a while, I forgave Megan, and then I found out that she was dating Brandon. I was happy for them. Do you think I was right to give my friend another chance? Tell me in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit that like button.